what on earth was going on? Probably by far our worst performance this season. I think in even the other games that we haven't won, and obviously Charlton away when we lost as well, we were very passive for me. We were very poor. And yeah, just not good enough, was it?
No, I just think it was a bit of a letdown, to be honest. I think we didn't start off on the front foot. I think the weather had a big part to play. I've never seen so many passes just go astray. I don't think that they were good at all. I think we made them look good. I think we take too many touches on the ball. I think that we lacked up front. We just try and make the perfect goal. We're just trying too hard. And I think we're starting to get into the territory of square pegs in round holes. I think that he's got to start changing it. I mean, fair play to him. He brought Dykes on to kind of change it a little bit. But I just think Dykes isn't really at the moment on form either. I don't see how Jukovic can't get in front of him. And I think if we had Yuki on it for the last 10, 15 minutes, get players around him, we probably would have done something. The goal that Iwata scored was fantastic. And it was good to see Jay score the penalty, but there wasn't a lot more. We need to create more. We could tell you how it goes. We either get Bilic, who does the ball across to the wing, or we play around in the middle, then we try and go out wide and cross it in. We need to be a little bit more different. Watching Wickham play the other day, they were sensational, 1 touch, 2 touches. And I think we've got a little bit complacent. I think since Bilic's come out and said, you know, we should be doing this and we should be doing that, Laird's done the same. With the Laird situation, obviously he runs up and down and he's been told to play high, so he's leaving a massive gap. It's kind of like the Rooney era, where you've got really high wing backs going up but nothing behind. So I think, okay, everyone's saying Gardner-Hickman, that's fine, but will he be told to go high as well? I just think that Williamson needs to play in the middle. You need Alfie. You've got to play Alfie May as number 9 now. For me, he's the best striker we've got at the club. Jay Stansfield came as a winger striker, but it's not working with him up front. He didn't even get a kick in the first 20 minutes. I messaged you guys going, he's not even in the game. And Williamson has to play him behind, because as soon as he gets in that area, we make something. It was just such a shame, because we all went down there, we're full of voice. We had the justice for the 21, everything else. And it just felt like a bit of a letdown, to be honest, and I've calmed down since then.
Yeah, when you look back throughout the season so far, a lot of goals that Williamson's been involved in and the ones that he's scored as well, he's always been in the middle, hasn't he? He's always been central. You know, whether he's been running in on crosses. There's one goal that springs to mind at home when he sort of like volleyed it in the bottom corner. I think that was against Peterborough. You know, there was a lovely ball he pinged over to Stansfield away at Rotherham. The through ball to Alfie May as well at home to, I think that was Wigan. You know, so he's got.
Harris doesn't do the same thing.
No.
Harris is good. Come on. Yeah. He changed the game. So when we had Northampton, I thought fair play. He came on and he had a bit of youth about him. Yeah. I wouldn't start him. I'm sorry. We need to start our best team now. And we miss Wright, and we definitely miss Hansen. 100% we miss him.
But I would contemplate bringing Ben Davies back in for Bilic in the back 4. Yeah. I'd definitely put Gardner-Hickman at right back, me personally, for Laird. And then I'd think about maybe giving Paik a rest for Leonard tomorrow night. But I think Paik has been outstanding mostly this season. I don't know if it was obviously the international break where it might have been a bit too much from that game on Saturday, coming back from his duties with South Korea, isn't it, he plays for? So, you know, whether that was had an effect. And if it did, then give Leonard a game, you know what I mean? Don't put him straight in and ask him to play the whole game. And for me, Williamson is just, you know, such a good player and such a good creative player, but he's just so ineffective on that right-hand side as he was on Saturday. So hopefully now, surely to God, Chris Davies can see this. And we're struggling to score goals, and we've got the division's top goal scorer and player of the season sat there watching, which is just insane, isn't it, Craig?
Yeah, and I mean, the thing was, he was so lackadaisy on Saturday that, you know, three mistakes cost us And then we had 81% possession, I think it was, in the end. But it led to absolutely nothing. And we've all said the possession is great, but actually, if you don't turn it into goals at the end of it, it's not going to win you games. And that's the problem we're seeing at the moment is great at holding a ball, but actually, there's just nothing at all going forwards. I think the key thing on Saturday for me was that we didn't learn by the mistake that was made for the first goal, and then we went and conceded almost in an identical fashion for the second. And the third, well, you've got to question a lot of things. It's not just the defence, but where was the shouting from the goalkeeper? Where was the commanding of the box for the goals? Because the one was a total cock-up. I'll go for the ball. No, defender's going for the ball. Oh, we'll bounce it off each other and then just pass it in. And it was, well, I've seen better Sunday League defending, and that is saying something. So, that needs to be sorted. But I think the overall side of things is the, Claire's mentioned it, square pegs, round holes. We need to play players in their natural positions. We need to play them where they are the most at danger to the opposition. At the moment, we're not doing that. We're actually playing almost a team that is set up based on the opposition rather than where our strengths are. And that, I suppose, is a learning curve that Davis is going through. Again, though, just to come back, fair play to the fans. I thought the minutes of applause, the roses and the sound and the singing for the Justice for the 21 were absolutely unreal. And, thanks also has to go to the Shrewsbury fans who also all joined in. And that is a touching tribute, no matter, where you are or what it's to do with. It helps to highlight exactly what had gone on. And in fact, the whole of the club across the commemorations was brilliant. The players on the centre circle taking that time out on the day that it happened, the names on the boards, Dave Taylor and all of and all of the guys doing the walk to and from the stadium, laying the wreaths. The whole lot was superb, and thank you to everybody that supported and joined in with all of that. Just going back to the game, the one thing as well, give the strikers the ball, because if you don't give them the ball, they'll never have a go at goal. And at the moment, we're just not feeding them. And I know Anderson went off, but he wasn't doing anything at that point. In fact, to be honest, the more I've seen the yellow card back, he was very lucky to stay on the field. His foot was really, really high. And that had been under VAR, I don't think they'd have hesitated. I think that would have ended up as a red. So perhaps there was a little bit of tactician changing, but also if I don't take him off now, he's going to end up being off the field full stop. So, but if we'd have gone a week or even 2 weeks, we've had a game, I'd have been a bit more concerned. But we go into tomorrow night and, we've got to bounce. It's plain and simple. They need to show what they're made of.
We need to pick up more than 2 points out of the next 9 like we've done out of the last 9, that's for sure, because that's just not good enough, And since he has made these changes to the team, that he's made in the last few games, the form's just dropped, isn't it? We just fell off the face of the earth, unfortunately. But I don't want to...
Players have to be held to account on this as well, though, because at the end of the day, they're obviously doing something on the training field, that's making him think they can do this.
Yeah.
And if they are doing it on a training ground, why can't they turn that into being, into a game? What is the difference? But also, we need leaders. And Bielik to me on Saturday was completely off the ball. Not the Bielik that we've seen in the past. You could have even put him in midfield, and I wouldn't have trusted the way that he was playing, to be honest. Almost as though he wasn't well, 100, wasn't 100% or something. But that wasn't a typical Bielik display at all.
No, just too passive on Saturday. I'm sure, they'll know that as well, and they'll be very keen to get out there tomorrow night and put it right. And hopefully, he doesn't pick that same team and he makes a few changes and we get a much better result tomorrow. I don't care about the performance, as I've always said on it. I want the results. If it means we give up 30% possession to get, to score 3 goals instead of 2 or whatever, then I'd rather do that, wouldn't you, Alan?
Absolutely. I picked up on one thing you were saying while I was trying to get connected, and you said if we had Inga Haaland in our team, he wouldn't score a goal. And I know he gets some stick, Dykes, but he had one cross on Saturday which reached his head, and he had to make a bloody effort to get that.
Yeah.
And he got the header on target. The rest of the time, he might have been sitting on the bench because the crosses that came in were pathetic.
Mm.
And we've lost our 2 most effective wide people, and we haven't been able to find a replacement. Yokoyama keeps having flashes. He didn't get on until the 3 minutes from the end. It was injury time by the time he got on. But the thing of all the criticism, who caused that defeat? The 2 blokes in the middle of the back. Bielik didn't look fit to me. And Clara, and I haven't seen this happen since the Wigan game, got absolutely roasted by. I mean, that was their first attack. They scored from, and the second goal came from the bloke bursting away and leaving him for dust. Now, it wasn't a great performance going forward, but we scored 2 goals, right? We should win. The 2 goals away from home should be enough for the 3 point. You can't give 3 goals away. And I echo Craig's. I tell you, the last time I saw goals, not like the second and third goals, where the goalkeeper and one was Williamson, but I don't know who else collided with the goalkeeper. The last time I saw a goal scored like that was when I did it, when I was 11. You run in and frighten the keeper, and he drops the ball, and somebody gets in the way, and it drops in front of you. Thank you very much. Talk about schoolboy defending. It was primary school defending, and it was so annoying. You think it's hard enough to get with teams that aren't going to let you have any space. It's hard enough to get. We got 2 goals, which should do it. If we get 2 goals tomorrow and don't win, I shall be very, very disappointed. Now, we haven't got what's his name, the right back, Laird, right? He hasn't put a decent cross in since they stopped playing May at centre forward, because I kept going on early season. Watch this combination, Laird to May. That you'll be reading that over and over again, but it stopped. It stopped, and mainly because May isn't there. That's one of the reasons. And we've got nobody on the left. Anderson, he had a good spell, fair play, and deserved his place in the side. He ain't doing it now. He ain't doing it.
In my team, I'd have Stansfield left. That's where I'll play him. I thought he did.
Probably.
To be fair, when he moved out there on Saturday, I thought he was in the game more. He was doing better. That was when obviously we got the penalty, and he sort of cut in and had that low effort with his right foot, didn't he? Which he was unlucky to save by their keeper. But apart from that, really, their keeper could have just. Well, they could have just had a lead weight goal, couldn't they, for him?
Yeah.
It
was. There comes a point in the game as well that you think we're not going to change. What we actually did in the end was change everything. We had people playing out all over the pitch, playing out of position. That's never going to work. No. If you take somebody out, you put somebody similar in, or so different that it makes a difference. You don't keep swapping. Oh well, you go there, you go there, you go there. I'll take him off, put him there. And watching it on the I actually watched it in silence, so I didn't pick up on where these people were. I kept seeing Pate on the right wing, and I'm thinking, oh, this is part of the plan. But it wasn't. It was he had to go there to find the ball. There's nobody giving him to midfield, and I don't. Apart from the goal, Iwata, I don't think he had a kick, did he?
No.
You know, he just didn't figure. I mean, yes, he picked the ball up and he passed it and he picked the ball up and passed. But he's our dynamo. He should be the man going forward, and he didn't do it. And it was just you know, it really was.
What was it like in the crowd, Claire, during the game? Like, you know, those around you and stuff was, you know, especially when they went like 2-0 up and then with 3-1 up as well. You know, that at that particular point, what was it like in the away end?
I think it was more frustration. Obviously, we still backed them. I think it was just frustration. We could see what was going on.
Yeah.
Like, I think second half, Cochrane had so much of the ball. I mean, he was our best player by far. And the balls he was getting in. But you could just see it and you're like, just get it in or make that half a yard and have a shot. You know, like watching Match of the Day, you watch all these other teams. And I know they're Premier League, but it still works the same way. You get that half a yard and have a go.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like Hutchinson against Man United yesterday.
Yeah.
He got the ball, half a yard, he had a go. He went off someone and he went in. Great goal, fair play to you. I just think that the amount of money that we've spent, it's a shame how much Jay costs. Because I feel like Davies is under pressure to play him every single game.
Yeah.
But I think he's just not a number 9.
No.
And I've heard people say as well that even when Rooney was in charge, he didn't like playing number 9. I don't think that's his forte. I can't imagine him in the Premier League playing as a number 9. I don't think he's kind of built for it. I think it was crying out for Alfie May earlier. I don't understand how Paik became right back and Iwata became centre back. It felt a bit like Davies was panicking a little bit. Now, just for the record, I think it's absolutely ludicrous that people are asking for Davies to be sacked already.
Oh, that's crazy.
Considering like 3 weeks ago, we were on cloud 9, top by miles. I just think we're having a blip. Always in November, we have a blip. Every November for the last 4 or 5 years, we've had a blip.
But that's at this level, I don't think there's any excuses. You know, we broke the transfer record in this division 3 times.
Yeah, and I totally get that. I think Paik's tired. He looked it. I think he needs a bit of a rest. I think Clara, actually with Davies next to him, looked a little bit more calm. I like the fact that Davies is left-footed as well. I think it brings a bit more balance to the team. So we haven't got many left-footers in the team, only Cochrane.
Yeah.
With the Laird situation, I know that people are saying he needs to run forwards and backwards, but I mean, he's up and down that line. I'm surprised at 60 minutes they didn't take him off and put Gardner Hickman on, considering Dykes was on. There's just little things lacking. And I just think, you know, Yokoyama came on and he was like really, really trying, and there was a bit of pace and there was a bit of oomph. But I couldn't even say that Shrewsbury really put everyone behind the ball. They were just there. But I'm sure in training you work with the 10 men behind the ball and how to move it quickly. So I just think it's a bit of a blip. Obviously, we haven't got out of the last 9 points. We've only got 2, which for Blues at this level isn't great or good enough. But I think, though, we are finding out that actually this is a lot harder than we think it's going to be. I think that Exeter tomorrow is going to be a really tough game. I think Stanfield, we've got to see how he reacts to this situation, because obviously his dad's got a lot of affiliation with the club as well. How's he going to be? Is it his first time going back? I don't know. And I just think that we just need to just put the players in the position. Everybody can see it apart from Davis, and that's the frustrating thing. Start the season, you played everybody where they should have been played. And I don't get it. Like, it's screaming out for it, especially Williamson. I felt so sorry for him because every time he was drifting in. And the thing is, if you got him drifting in and then you've got one person out wide, the balance of the whole side doesn't make sense.
No.
Because you've got 2 really high. Is that why Laird is playing really high? Because actually Williamson's coming in. At one point, we were doing a Man City where Laird was in centre midfield. And then I was like, oh, Laird, so we're doing a bit of a Man City here. But then it didn't work because we weren't quick enough moving it. To me, we were very, oh, we'll take 2 or 3 touches. Oh, we'll now pass it. Oh, we'll now take it. Instead of bang, 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 it was, oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. Oh, we've lost it. Yeah, it just wasn't good enough.
No. We played on Saturday into the hands of Ainsworth and his team.
Yeah.
Because they set their stall out from the very first kick of the ball because they played an extremely high press. And I always, you know, did you think they were going to last? No. Did they last? They got to about 75 minutes and became Lego, you know. Arguably, for the last 15 minutes of the game, it was all Birmingham. However, to go back on Claire's point, you know, to have centre midfielder playing at centre half, and, you know, it was more screaming to me, they're not going to come forwards. They're not interested in attacking. At the moment, they're sitting back. They're defending what they've got. So why did we not swap it up? Stick extra players into the midfield or even up front and just go, do you know what? If we lose 4-1, I don't care. We're trying. But we got to 3-2 and we didn't do anything. After that penalty, I expected them to go hell for leather for an equaliser. We didn't. The foot went off the pedal instead of onto it. And that did come down to me about the formation. You know, I don't quite understand why he didn't go attacking. I'd rather have gone and lost by 2 goals, giving it a go, than to me, like we did, which was sit back and lose it on a whimper. And that's how it felt at the end of it. I think that's probably where everybody's frustrations lay, was we've seen it in other games where we've tried to give it a go. This time we just didn't seem to...
There's no plan B, Craig.
No plan B, yes.
And I've been screaming this. There's no plan B. There's no change of formation. We could have gone 3 at the back and we could have had literally Cochrane, Clara, and then, I don't know, whoever, like even Iwata or whatever, could have gone 3 at the back and could have gone for it. But we were like, right, we're going to stick with the 4 at the back. And then, but I just think it is a blip and we've still got good players in our team. They're still the same players as they were 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. I just think that we're just lacking that something. I don't know whether it's kind of blown some confidence, losing some goals in the last minutes of some games. I don't know whether it's knocked them down to earth. I don't know. But we still got those same players that we were top of the league with. We still got 2 or 3 games in hand over others, thankfully. But again, we need goal difference, so we need to up the pace, get the confidence back. Let's go out tomorrow and let's show Exeter and let's absolutely blow them away, because we can do that easily.
Yeah. Can I just mention there's something that has changed in the last 6 weeks? We've lost Ashley Cole.
Yeah.
And from the moment he walked out the door, our defence has not looked as commanding as it did before. Now, he has been replaced. You're not going to replace somebody of Ashley Cole's experience very easily, are you? And I just, you know, it may have nothing to do with what's happened. It may have everything. Who knows? But it's noticeable that since he left, things haven't been right. That was like up until a month ago, it was like a well-oiled machine, and then suddenly it all starts going wrong. Now, we can talk about, we're not going to go throughout the season not losing the game, right? But you don't really expect to lose to the Shrewsburys of this world, do you? Even in a blip, we should have come away with a point. And still moan, but we didn't. As you quite rightly say, we never looked like getting that goal back. Once we scored the second goal, that was the end of it. You know, we declared, so that's the best we can do, and it was awful. But as I say, there have things have changed. As I say, the 2 wide men that were doing so well for us have gone injured. We lost our captain for a week or 2, and that didn't go well.
We haven't had that captain back, Al. I mean, we're not seeing the best of Bielik since he's.
No, as I say, he didn't look fit on Saturday.
No,
he didn't have those bursts with the ball. He suddenly breaks forward. Did none of that. The people that were running past him. And again, going back to this wide people, their goalkeeper must have took more crosses than he did during the warm-up. You know, they just kept crossing the ball, and we got 3 centre forwards on the pitch at the end, and not one of them got a sniff from any cross or pass or anything. They might as well have sat down.
I think for me, let's get a good starting point tomorrow night. Let's get the league's best number 9 in his number 9 position. That's where I would start, okay? And let's get Williamson behind him, and then Stansfield to the left or right, and I'd give Yokoyama a run tomorrow night as well, you know, because start of the season, I honestly think, and it's fantastic to see us signing Jay Stansfield for the money that we have, but I just think that it has hindered Alfie May, hasn't it? Let's be honest. You know, it has affected Alfie May and his game, and even when he's played, he's been playing deeper. You know, he's been playing in the 10, he's not been playing as the 9, and I just think that if you just put him up there and said to him, I want you to be the main man to score the goals along with Jay and Williamson, you know, and Yokoyama, whoever's around you, you know, if we had that 4 up front, I honestly think that we'd score goals for fun. I really believe that. And if you had Gardner Hickman back in the team with his delivery from the right, because he's nearly as good as Cochrane's from the left, then it really would make a big difference to us, in my opinion.
Do you know what we need? Somebody, though, if you're going to have somebody whipping in balls, we also need somebody that's going to put them away.
Yeah.
To go back on, you know, a point that Claire made very early on. Djukovic on that pitch on Saturday would have made a raft of difference.
Yeah.
Right. Tomorrow night, it's an opportunity to put him in the. To me, he's going to play on Saturday. Right. The FA Cup game, he's going to play. But he should be there tomorrow. Even if he's sitting on the bench, bring him on for 20 minutes towards the end. If you've got players running an Exeter defence, tiring them out, and then in the last 20 minutes, you stick on somebody that's going to win a ball in the air, and we just do continue to run. That's the thing. When you look at our players, they can continue. It's almost as though the engine doesn't stop. So on that basis, you start having somebody who's going to flick on a ball, and Alfie May is going to thrive on that. So is Stansfield, right?
Yeah.
We could see goals tomorrow. We could see lots of goals. But I know we'll come on to predictions later, but we're in for a tough game.
Oh, yeah.
Both teams lost the weekend. They lost by 3 goals against a Wrexham side. When you watch it, they lost really from set pieces, something their manager will not take, you know, at all. So from that point of view, we're going to see a really tough side tomorrow night in Exeter. And yeah, we come away with a 1-0 and it's gone off somebody's arse in the last minute. I do not care.
Nobody cares.
No, I don't.
I don't care what I don't want to necessarily see us go and score a hatful of goals. Be nice, but I don't want it. I just want 3 points out of tomorrow night. It's simple. I don't care how it comes. I want 3 points.
I think it's gone now.
Go on, Claire.
Their manager,
Go on.
sorry. So their manager might say, "Don't worry about our set pieces because this team don't score from set pieces. So we no need to worry today. We'll just stop them doing what they do." You know, when have we scored a header from a corner? No, not one.
I think the thing is, what worries me is I will support anybody in a blue shirt, even Oliver Burke. However, up until there's a point where you go, come on. And I think Dykes has got to start showing why we paid the money for him. If he's supposed to be the person taking Dukey's role, he's got to start winning balls in the air. He's got to start being a bit fitter, a bit more aggressive, a bit stronger, having that oomph about him. I find when he comes on, he's very like, yeah, you know, win that ball in the air. That one header he had was brilliant. He was running away from the goal and he managed to head it back. It was a decent opportunity. He needs to do more because there's lots of people who have stood by me going, what does he bring that Jukovic doesn't? Because, for example, I know it's only against Sutton United, but he made a massive difference with 10 minutes to go. If you put Jukovic on 10, 15 minutes to go, and I do get why he doesn't start Yokoyama, because actually I would put him on 20 minutes to go after you've had all the Blues running at you. If he comes on with 20 minutes to go, he's going to fly past them. He's like... he's like a rocket, isn't he? And if you're the right back or left back and you see him come on, you're going to be like, nah, I'm not up for this. And then you've just got to get then the balls into the box. But the thing is, there's no point in getting balls into the box up high when you get Alfie May up there and Jay Stansfield. Then you're trying to lift it high for Dykes, and he's not even winning it in the air, so it's kind of a catch-22. I totally agree with Alan. We don't do much at set pieces. To me, our set pieces aren't great. But again, we haven't got a lot of height. I think we do need to work on set pieces. That's a massive thing, especially corners. I think we need to do more, be a bit more different with them. But hopefully tomorrow we can get a result.
I think coming back onto the Juki and Dykes debate, I mean, I've seen Jukovic for how long was it against Sutton United? What did he come on for? About 10 minutes?
10, 15 minutes.
10 minutes.
And I know it was against a non-league team, but he did more in that 10 minutes than Dykes has done in every single minute he's played for us so far.
The one thing I'd say about Dykes the weekend was, yes, he wasn't winning the ball, but his off the ball movement dragged people away. And that is something he is good at. I don't think he's ever going to be this massive goal scorer. And I don't think he should ever be sold as a striker for me. He is. He's a poacher, isn't he? That's what Dykes is. Now, the thing with him is, if he's pulling somebody off, then that's where your Yokoyamas, when they're coming on and then running with that last 20 minutes, will play into the space, which will play into the hands of people like, again, we come back to Jukovic, right? You put a ball on his head, he's going to put it away. And in this league, he will do it. I almost see that Yokoyama to me is very, very similar in terms of the way that he plays and the way that I would like to see him play, as we did with Jose Dominguez when he was at the club. You brought him on after you tired out a team and you went, go and run at him because you're going to beat them.
Yeah.
But what he's got to do then, which you see from the highlights, really, he didn't do, was he did get past people, but he didn't put a ball in.
Yeah.
And then that's that. He's learning. He's still young himself, but that's one thing that I'd love to see more of from this team. We did see it very early doors from Laird, from Hickman when he was on the pitch, and also we were seeing it from Cochrane as well. Was we get forward, we bomb forward, and we whip a ball in. And that was then where you had your Alfie Mays and your Stansfields just getting in at that back post. We now are playing for the perfect goal. We're looking to do this 25, 30 pass, perfect goal. And we don't need that at the moment.
I think if we play old-fashioned 4-4-2, I'm not saying we should do this, by the way. I'm just saying if we did, then Dykes and May could potentially be a good partnership, couldn't they? Because you've got the big man and the little man with the poacher and the guy winning the flick-ons and whatever, but I just don't see it with him so far. And, I don't want this show to be completely negative, by the way. We'll come on to the positives in a minute with, obviously, the open house that we tested the other week. But it's just overall, that Shrewsbury game on Saturday was absolutely horrendous, wasn't it? Let's just be honest. And we just need to move on from it now, forget about it. And hopefully they'll put in a better performance and result for us tomorrow night,
And we can't change the past.
We're only just over a third over the way of the season, aren't we? Only 14, 15 games, is it?
Yeah.
It's a lot of games to go yet.
Like 16.
It's just a bit embarrassing, and it was 30 million, broke the League One transfer record 4 times, and we can't beat Shrewsbury away, rock bottom of the league, you know what I mean?
The thing is, though, I was talking to my mate who's a Derby fan today, and she went, "Oh, you guys lost. We lost there a couple of seasons ago. Shrewsbury's a horrible place to go. Wet and windy. Nobody wanted to be there." And I just think that, we are where we are. We've had 3 bad results. It was going to happen. I'd rather it happen now. Get it out of the way. Let's build on this. And the way that Davies was talking and the way that Jay Stansfield was talking after the game, I'm glad that they were a little bit upset. I'm glad that they were a bit annoyed. It's better than going, we're going to find the positives, okay? let's try and be as positive as possible. I actually think that they were a little bit frustrated and a little bit like, right, we need to fix this. I expect tomorrow to fly out the traps, and I reckon the first 10 minutes, good luck to Exeter, because if I was Chris Davis, I'd be telling our team, go and grab a goal and let's go for it, and let's hopefully show everybody what we can do.
What would be your team, Claire? Would you make any changes from the team Saturday?
Oh, 100%.
What would you? I'm going to say, yeah. Who would you bring in and who would you leave out then from Saturday?
I'd possibly bring Davis in for Bilic. I'd probably agree and take Laird off for Hickman.
Wow, I can't believe you just said that.
Obviously, I love Laird and I think he's great.
That's why I can't believe you just said that.
But I do think he needs a rest as well. He's up and down constantly. And do you know what? Even after 60 minutes, bring him on. Because, I mean, you know, if you got him and Yokoyama running it, you're going to, you know, if Laird plays, fair play. But let's try it. Let's go with what the fans say. This is what Lee Carsley did a few weeks ago with England. He put all the best players on and went, go on then. And actually, he was proved that actually he knew what he was talking about. So let's just see what happens. I'll take Paik off and put Leonard in. Yeah. I'd put Jay on the left, Alfie up top, Williamson, and probably Anderson's probably the other winger we've got. Yeah. And I'd bring Yokoyama on at least at 70 minutes. Yeah. And then if we need anything else, bring it on. I would keep the back four, but I would possibly, if Bilic was to come on, I'd bring him on instead of Iwata, try him in midfield for a little bit. Yeah. Well, that is some confidence.
That is his best position, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think, you know, Bilic, he's better in midfield than at centre-half, but I think he has played well for us at centre-half as well, don't get me wrong. Yeah. But, you know, I want to see that Wrexham performance more, you know. We want games like Wrexham at home more. You know, that was a brilliant performance, that was, and obviously result as well. And even in that game, we went 1-0 down, you know, the amount of points that we picked up from losing positions this season. Yeah. You know, even throughout the season before, when we were doing well results-wise, we were still conceding goals, you know. I don't think we kept many clean sheets this season, have we? You know, so, you know, it's...
Part of what goes on, though, you know, come back to what Claire said before we went on air about possibly even changing the goalkeeper. You know, you've got to have confidence in the person that's between the sticks. And part of what I saw on Saturday was there that thought, actually, do you know what, he's going to keep us out? Because he is... we almost need a goalkeeper that's a mixture of him and your young lad, because he's great at shot stopping, but I don't think he commands his box anywhere near as well as other goalkeepers do in this league. On Saturday, what you saw from the Shrewsbury keeper was that he put himself in and around. He still got his way into the defence. He still made sure that he was commanding what had happened. And as you got towards the end of the game, you know, he made some cracking saves, but also just the takes that he took. It was just, I am in control here. I am going to be the boss, you know, and that we are lacking. But, you know, I gotta be honest, I'm fed up with the negativity that's come away from it, because it's just though the world's come to a bloody end and he hasn't. You know, Derby lost 10 games last season and still won the league. Yeah. Right? We were never going to go a season without losing a game. We have only lost 2 games. Yes, we lost to Shrewsbury, but they were on the new manager bounce. That team Saturday, I spoke to the Shrewsbury fan afterwards that I did the OIM with, and he turned around and he went, he could not get over the difference. And the difference that he simply said was they were playing for the manager. Whereas before they were playing as a bunch of individuals. And this one, he said, you could tell that it was, do you know what, we're going out and we're gonna go up another level. Number one, because we're playing Birmingham, and number two, because we're playing for our new manager. And I gotta be honest, you could see it coming. You really could. You know, the players have got to stand up now, be accounted for, and tomorrow night, like Claire said, first 10 minutes, hell for leather, let's go and get a goal. It's like this one goal, do you know what I mean? Let's go out and go for more. Once we've got one, don't hold back. If you can beat them with one, you can go and get another one. And they've got to show what they're made of, because we're going into this game tomorrow. We're gaming act. We need to get ourselves a win to get back into second spot. All right? Put the pressure and continue the pressure on Wickham, who are flying at this present moment.
Yeah. Stockport doing as well.
Yeah, are they all going to, I look at those teams up there, are they all going to continue to do what they're doing? I can't see it personally. We've got a squad that's got depth. You don't really see that with any of those other teams. But we've still got to go and get results. So to me, on to tomorrow night, Saturday, FA Cup. If he's going to swap a few things about, swap it about then. Give the others a go. And actually then turn around and say, do you know what you want to play? Show me why I should pick you next Wednesday.
Sunday, ain't it, Craig? Blackpool.
Sunday, Blackpool. Yeah, Sunday, Blackpool. And then Wednesday, Stockport. And for me, those players that turn out on Sunday should be going, I'm going to show you why you should pick me on Wednesday night.
You worry me there.
I don't want to just play tonight. I want to play on Wednesday as well. And then I want to play on Saturday.
You was worrying me to death, mate, saying Saturday then, because I've agreed at 12:30 on Saturday.
Just testing whether you're listening or not. If Robe was here, I'd still continue to tell him it was Saturday just so that he tried to watch the game. But
can I just make one point about Alfie May Stansfield controversy? If you can't find a way of fitting both those players into your lineup, then you are playing the wrong way. You must, if you've got the best, which we have, the best goal scorers in this division, one who's done it for 3 years on the trot, and another one who's done it at a higher level. If you can't find a system that takes advantage of their ability, and they have shown on occasions they can work together, then your system is wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Find a system that suits the players, not the other way around.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely bang on, Al. Totally agree with that. But
the message board has been saying the similar sorts of things as well, so...
let's get to some of our live comments, sorry.
It's a big thing. For example, has said Dykes didn't get the service. He made several runs by spinning off, but we were too slow then in finding him with the ball over the top. Can't disagree. I think that's spot on. Pete Taylor said, I've got to watch my mouth because there'll be no pulling people off. So, it's pretty much. So then you've got, neither goalie are good enough at making saves. It's true. We are lacking with a person. And in fact, I guess we just put that out there, actually. If we go into January and we've got some money to spend, what position do we fill? Be interested to know what people think. And then the last one that stood out was Mick Graves, where he said we're actually missing Hansen and Wright. And I think we are, because they did give us plan B. And at the moment, we just don't have that, And there's also nobody fighting for those wing positions. We need them.
Those two.
Is it fair to say we haven't replaced Miyoshi since we've let him go as well? Because he was pretty good down the right, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think we have, though. I think literally we've had 3 games. We've only lost 2 games. Technically 3 all season for the Fulham match. And we're all wondering, who we're going to bring in January. 3 weeks ago, we were like, this is the best squad we've ever had. And this is the problem. It's fickle, football is, because it's whatever the result's been, that's what you go on. Yeah. And I think that Hansen and Wright, having those 2 players back will be the difference. If we have those players back in the next 2 or 3 weeks, you watch us fly again. Because the fact that Hansen runs at you, and then you then bring Wright on, the fact that Anderson runs at you, then you bring Yokoyama on, massive, absolutely massive difference. And the fact that Hansen runs at you, the only thing that I'm going to say about the wingers is what we lack is that run from in to out or out to in. There's out to in runs. Literally, at the start of the season, I remember Hansen was doing it 5 or 6 times against Leyton Orient. And that's what we lack. We just lack the ball in behind. It's very rare, apart in the last month, that we have actually had a goal where we've been through on goal. Yeah. For the start of the season, we were having Alfie May was making those runs. Even Jay was making the runs through, and it was like the one-on-ones. But we've got to be a bit... Obviously, we're not trying to be negative. We are being positive. Of course, we still want to play Chris Davis ball because it's good football. I don't want to go back to hoofing it every week, but I think we need to go back to one and two touch. Let's stop hogging the ball. Let's do 1 or 2 touch. Let's make the space.
Yeah. We just got to be balanced properly. He's got to put players in their right positions, and that'll make a big difference as well. But I agree with that, Claire. Once Hansen's back, then make a massive difference, and Scott Wright as well down the right hand side as well. So that's blimey, 50 minutes talking about one game.
Crazy, isn't it?
50 minutes of negativity. Let's bring some positivity into this.
The good result for the women, 3-1 win away at Bristol City. Craig?
Yeah, awesome, brilliant results. Against a team that we actually thought it was going to be quite tough, but no, great result in the cup there, and onto the next game now, because we haven't got a league game for a couple of weeks. But we have today been drawn in the FA Cup against Durham at home. So the details of that will obviously follow, but that'll be the 8th of December and a FA Cup home game there. So, opportunity again for us to keep that winning streak going and let some of the fringe players again with the ladies get an opportunity to show what they can do. But, we're still pushing on. The next league game, I want to shout it out again because we want to get as many people down there as possible. But the next league game is December the 16th. It's a double header weekend as we'll, let's mention it now. It'll be Blue Nose weekend, as we all found out at the Open House. And for those that have seen the details that have come out on the website. So it's a weekend of raising money for underprivileged children and those in care, where we can make sure that, like we did last year, that they get presents at Christmas. So last year, 11,500 kids. 11,500 is a horrible, horrible figure, really.
It is, isn't it?
But 11,500, we made sure we got presents. This year, through the fundraising that's going on, not only on the Blue Nose Day on the 14th against Bristol, but the 15th against Charlton, and also the sleep out, that we must mention. Last year, the Punjabi Blues guys got a small group of people to stay out, and they raised phenomenal funds. Claire went to support them down there, actually, and I know there was some of the management turned up as well. With this year, looking for 400 volunteers. Each volunteer is being asked to raise a minimum of £200. That, when you put it all together, is enough to cover all of those presents and more. And that all is going to the foundation to support this. So it's easy to join, and I will post a link after the show. But all you've got to do is put your name down, sign up, have a sleeping bag, make sure you get yourself wrapped up, because it's going to be a great night at St Andrews. You'll be seeing the game. And then afterwards, everybody will go to the Gilmerick Lower. And there'll be a couple of things happening. First one, obviously the chance to stop out under the stars with a few faces from the club. So Jeremy Dale already will be part of that. Craig Gardner as well, I believe he's going to be stopping out. The following morning, people will be served coffee and breakfast by people from the club, whether that's players, management, we don't know, but that's going to happen. And then also they're going to be showing the 2011 final on the big screen. But there will be players from that squad in with the fans watching it, mic'd up, so that they can talk about what happened, how they felt pre and post the game, and how it felt during it as well. So, as again, simple. Stop out one night to give up your time. 400 people looking to raise that 200 minimum each. It can easily be done. And, I am one of those people that is stopping out. We have people from across the OSCs that are also putting themselves forwards. We've got people coming in from Ireland that are stopping out, and doing these different things. So please, if you can't do it, we understand. But if you can't do it, support the guys and girls that are, and let's help us get to that minimum value.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm. No, it's a great thing. And you mentioned Craig Gardner there, and just want to wish he's a birthday boy today, isn't he? So
yes, indeed.
Happy birthday as well. welcome to Blues as well to Leon Clark, who's joined us as an academy coach as well. I remember him as a player. He played at quite a few clubs, didn't he, Leon Clark? But he's in amongst it now with our academy coaches, which is good. So, and obviously we'll come on to the open house briefly as well. We'll just touch upon that for 5 or so minutes, and because obviously it went out live, didn't it, on YouTube? So I guess a lot of people have seen it anyway. But you know, it was obviously very different, wasn't it, from the previous two? But still a very good night nonetheless, and very impressive player.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it was nice to see it from the academy and women's side. I was surprised we didn't learn more about like the men's, like how much money we've spent and all this. But I mean, the figures are just outstanding, especially from the club shop. It doesn't surprise me because every Saturday it's full.
Yeah.
It's lovely to see what they've done. It's good to see where they want to go and where we are going. Especially the women's side. I think that sometimes, you know, I used to watch them when they were Champions League and things like that. That's the Blues team that I grew up with as such. And it really got me into football as well. So I think having them go back and showing that, you know, the Karen Carneys of this world make a massive difference. And the way that I think that Amy speaks is just so refreshing for a young coach to have her on side and managing our women's team. I think is really good as well. Yeah. I think from the academy point of view, we know we've got a good academy. We've had a good academy for years. We just need to keep producing these players that are going to hopefully get the club money or play well for us. I think it's a lot more difficult in League One to play academy players. I think if we hopefully go back to the Championship, then we've got more on the bench that you can give that opportunity to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good night. It wasn't as wow as before, because obviously the last times we've had, oh, this is the amount of money, look what we're going to do, and then the last one was, wow, look at the stadium. But I think it was just refreshing to see it from a different side as well. So, I mean, fair play. They love us, don't they? The Nighthead Group and Tom Wagner. So keep it coming, please.
Yeah, and obviously Tom himself dialing in from a plane as well when he was on his way somewhere, which was pretty impressive.
You'd just love to know where he was at that particular point in time. I'm at 37,000 feet over the Atlantic, but I'm still speaking to you now.
Yeah.
That
could have been in Smithy.
Just sums up what they were like on the night. Yeah. I mean, Chris, you know, you were there as well, and I know you came to the first one, but haven't seen the others. So, how much of a difference between the first open house to this one do you get from what we saw?
Difference, I think the enthusiasm was a lot more in the first one. This one. Yeah, as Claire said, I think what she's trying to say is it went on a bit. I think.
By 3 hours we were there going, come on.
Yeah. But no, I mean, yeah, they do love us, don't they? They do love us. And Paul, you got the first question of the night as well.
I did, yeah. And it was good to hear, wasn't it? The answer to my question is obviously anyone that hasn't heard it. I asked them when are Nighthead likely to take 100% full ownership of the club, and they said it was Mark Smith who answered me, wasn't it? And he said that it will be at some point in 2025. So that's good to hear, isn't it? Because then we can completely wipe our hands of the previous owners, then, can't we? And move on altogether.
I've got to say, the professionalism of each speaker was absolutely spot on, wasn't it? Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean the quality of people that we brought into the club off the field as well as on it is outstanding.
The confidence it just oozes out, doesn't it? You just know, you just feel as though we got somebody who actually knows what they're talking about.
Yeah. The likes of John Clark up there, and obviously, and not just the guys on the stage either. Those that I know off that weren't on the stage as well are great as well. And I mean Nick Smith. Every time Nick Smith speaks, you could listen to him all night, couldn't you? He's just brilliant. He really is. He's just brilliant at what he does. He really is outstanding.
Very intelligent.
He's played such a huge part in the differences that we see at St Andrews now for what it was before.
Yeah.
The other thing that came across was for me, it's one that I've witnessed firsthand anyhow, but it's the communication between the club and the fans and how the open house is just one single opportunity to shout out a few things, whereas it was made abundantly clear and shown in numerous slides, and also the presentation by Gary at the beginning around the impact that the official supporters clubs are beginning to have on everything. So from the feedback going direct in after games, that being listened to and changes being made, to, you know, the supporters groups being involved in various projects and different things that happen for the club. But also, it shows that we are expanding worldwide, because how many people would have thought we'd have a Kenyan official supporters club? How many people would think that we have clubs across America now, in New York, that makes the press? You know, Jesus, we never hear of things happening like this with Birmingham. And I know it's the local press, but it's still there. So that also has helped, I think. And again, they shouted out the importance of fans being together, travelling together, drinking together, singing together. And that's what makes it this overall whole family. And you know, there's no better time to shout about what we're like as fans and how these groups are forming and expanding. And it is expanding. Northfield and Longbridge, as an example, 7 weeks ago didn't exist as a supporters group, and now have over 300 members.
I think just coming back onto what Gary Cook was saying as well about the Trevor Francis statue will be unveiled for the start of next season, which is obviously going to be wonderful to see as well. Obviously very emotional as well, won't it, for a lot of people as well, and obviously Jasper getting up as well and talking about the tribute concert as well that will be going on next year, which I've luckily managed to get tickets for. Me and my dad are going to that, so that'll be good. Who do we think will be? Obviously, he didn't reveal who it would be, did he? So who do we think? Jeff
Hello.
Well, he's
going to be there.
He's a massive friend of Jeff Lynn's, isn't he? So
yeah,
he'll do his best.
Yeah. Anyone else we think will be there?
It'll be a mixture of everything when you think about Jasper Carrott and his links.
Yeah.
Well, I will say on that front, that was one downside of everything that happened. On the night, it was made massive, and I think it's an absolute brilliant thing. But the ticket allocation wasn't handled very well at all. You know, I know people that are non-season ticket holders that managed to get tickets on the day that they were allocated to season tickets. I know people that tried on the internet, kept getting decline messages, and others were absolutely fine. I know people that rang up the ticket office, managed to get tickets, and then other people rang and it's like, no, you can't buy them through us. You've got to do it online. So there is a learn from all of that, which no doubt the club will take away. But hopefully as well, they now listen to the other feedback that was given on the night when it was announced, which was, if you sell this out, will you also do a link? Will you also show it in other places? You know, because I, for one, I was unlucky. I didn't get a ticket. But would I watch it if there was a link sent out and I'd got to pay £10 for it or whatever it may be? Then because it's all going to the same charity. So, you know, perhaps that will come from the club, because I think you could probably have sold that out 3, 4, 5 times
easily.
Here's an idea, Craig. Why don't we charge fans to go in or whatever for tickets at St Andrews and beam it back on the big screens? You know, and make a fortune.
They could, and you know, or just an internet link that people can access, because everybody can do it.
Yeah,
we've seen it for other things. So every penny counts when it comes to the charity, and this will all go towards that football academy in Trevor's name. So let's see what the club can do to see if it can be expanded.
Yeah, Alan, did you see the open house, mate?
I did, yeah. I don't want to boil on troubled water. Just an ironical thing. I enjoyed the presentation by the lady, brilliant, and I also enjoyed the presentation and the explanation of where the academy is going, brilliant. And the general thing was entertaining and very informative. And the following night, the youth team got knocked out of the Youth Cup by Harrogate. Birmingham lost on Saturday, bloody Shrewsbury. But fair play to the ladies; they come up with the goods, and it was, you know, that came across with what's her name, the coach,
Hope.
Amy Merricks.
Amy, and I've listened to every interview she's done, and she does impress me what she says. And I mean, I couldn't pick the game up on Sunday, unfortunately. But she's so impressive, and you know, a lot of football managers and whatever team that, you know, they come out with cliches, don't they? You know, but she doesn't. She tells it like it is, and if it's good, it's good, and if it's bad, she tells it's bad. And I was so happy to see that result. I mean, it probably won't matter too much in the end. Have we got to win the group to go through?
So it's each winner of the group goes through, but also there are a small number of second place. So it's basically highest points, second place as well.
Okay, so there is a chance, and good luck to them. It just felt me, you know, she was the star of the show, and proof in the pudding. She took her team out the following week and won a good away win where all the other teams failed. It could be a coincidence. It could be whatever. I took her word, and I'm thinking, yeah, one or two other places could listen to this, because you know, we're going through a blip and we're making excuses, and she does.
I was very impressed with Mike Rigg, though. I will say that, our new head of
I was.
Yeah, he spoke really well, didn't he, as well? So
yeah, I thought he did as well. I thought he was really good. But there was something else about buses. Craig, was there, or something?
It's that's come out tonight. So on next Wednesday and the Bristol game on the Saturday the 14th, the club are trialling with National Express some new routes to get people to the stadium. So we've all heard, and God, you can't get away from it on social media, of the problems that have been experienced at Borsley train station. So for supporters group members, supporters club members, there will be a service running, or two buses actually running direct from Solihull Town Centre to St Andrews next Wednesday. That will leave at 6:15 prompt and then drop off on the corner of Cattell Road, picking up afterwards and going straight back into the centre of Solihull. It's only going to pick up and drop off. It's not stopping anywhere. So that service will get you backwards and forwards. Then also, there is a second game against Bristol where they're doing exactly the same, except it's at 1 o'clock. So leave at 1:15 to get you straight to the stadium again. Two buses. Like I said, it's a perk of the OSC, because this trial for those two games and for those four buses is free.
That's good.
So we're encouraging everybody that's a member, no matter where you are, member of the sports clubs, if you can get to Solihull, let us know, and we'll make sure that you get on that bus. There's 140 spaces up for grabs, right? And this is a trial to see whether it then continues. But just imagine Boxing Day, when there's no public transport, apart from a very limited bus service. There won't be any trains, but you might be able to catch a bus. So, you know, it's a great way, again, of how the club have listened. They're acting upon what they see in social media, which came out very, very clear from that open house as well. Everything is read. People listen. People listen to us on here, you know, and we've seen things and we know of things when people approach us. We've got a shout out. So, you know, my club got a shout out because we'd taken 75 people to the ladies' game. I didn't tell the club that, but they knew.
That's good.
So the fact is, they listen to us, and that's another example of what's coming out from it. There's problems. How do we get fans there? Right, let's try this. And yes, afterwards there may be a fee, but it's still a bloody good service when you're going to be able to get to and from a stadium, and literally door to door. So that's coming. The other thing that came out for me, question that was raised towards the end of the open house, was around the academy kids and how really they're not seeing that opportunity to get into the side at the present moment. And I think it links nicely to what we were talking about at the beginning about giving the squad an opportunity and everything else. But the interesting comment was that they always anticipated that this was going to happen because we were rebuilding the squad. But then these academy kids are going out on loan. They're going to be doing their loan spells, which will hopefully then put them in the window so that when we do get an opportunity to bed some of them, as they said, it's about bringing them in, playing the games, moving them on if they're good enough, because then you're making a profit for the club. And that's what the academy is all about. And let's not forget, they are going for Cat 1 status. So they want to be number one in the academy. They want to be showing the academy as being the types that can bring through the players like you've seen at Man City, Liverpool, Man United. You know, those youngsters that have bed themselves in and worked their way through. They want our club to do the same. And that Category 1 status is I would say, wheels are well and truly in motion to get that back. And they've had to work so hard to get it back. I mean, Paul, we saw the pictures, didn't we, of Wast Hills?
Yeah, amazing.
Crikey,
What a difference.
What a mess.
Yeah. A couple of things on that, Craig, if I may. I think it's going to be a damn sight harder now for any academy player to get in the first 11, which can only be a good thing because it tells you that we've improved. And also, those that are good enough to get in the 11, I'd like to think, they won't move on and they will stay with us and be part of this journey, because you look at Jordan James as an example, you'd look at that and think, well, maybe I should stay, maybe I shouldn't move on, you know what I mean? Because, let's be honest, it hasn't worked out for him, has it? So, hopefully he can kick on and get his career back on track. There's no doubt he'll be coming back to England, I would imagine, at some point. But yeah, I think, those that do get in the team that are good enough, and unless obviously you get a 1 in a million like a Jude Bellingham, obviously, that just would be too good to play for us in any league, then I'd like to think that we can keep hold of our best players. I mean, going back with, if we'd have had these owners when we had the likes of Nathan Redmond and Damari Gray and people like that, we'd have stood more chance of keeping them, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
So you'd like to think the same in the future as well. If we do get the next, Nathan Redmond, Damari Gray, Jack Butler, and people like that we were disappointed, weren't we, when they went, because you'd like to think that, well, it wasn't long before they played for us that the club were in a place where we were good enough to keep them. But
it's going to be nice not to be known as a selling club, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, Chris. Yeah.
Which we always have. We always have been. We always have been.
Good evening to everyone on YouTube as well watching. Any comments on YouTube, Chris?
Yeah, quite a lot. Just before I go to YouTube, after 1 hour, someone's just said, "Where's Robe?"
We've sacked him. Next.
Mazzy King said it's a learning curve for Davis. We will need to learn together. We need to back him all the way. Despite all the negativity tonight, we're still way better off than we were 2 years ago. Oh, certainly.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't want to come across as too negative. It was just that one particular game that, has pushed a few of us over the edge, hasn't it, really?
Yeah.
Let's do a show of hands and message on the board as well. Who thinks we'll still win the league?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we'll get it back, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think it's just a bit frustrating because you'd like to have thought before Shrewsbury, Davies would have, saw the problems and made the changes to the problems that we've had, but he's just stuck with the same players in the, obviously Williamson, Wright and Stansfield up front and Alfie May on the bench. Stuff like that is, we all know it, don't we? I think we'd be better off if these players were playing in their best positions and in the team,
I'm not laughing at your comment, by the way.
No.
I've just read the comment on the shout box, which is, I'll let you guess who this is, but the words are, missing the show to be deloused was a lousy idea, Courtney. It's the last time that I listen to you. We can also confirm that Mark Andrew Adams is not going into I'm a Celebrity to Get Me Out of Here.
Nah.
The only thing we would put him in for is to eat all of the various different things that others don't want to. But apart from that, he is no celebrity.
I don't think his ankle tag will allow him to go that far anyway.
Yeah, he wouldn't be able to board the plane, would he?
No.
Mind you, he's in Coventry anyway, isn't he? So
Yeah, that's true.
They'll probably eat bugs there, don't they?
yeah, I reckon they do. Yeah. we got a lot to fit in now, Chris. In 17 minutes.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get it. I've got a who coming up if you want to have a go at that. Here we go, far away. Here we go.
Shot stopping's like 6th or 7th down the list. It's like, can he handle the ball with his feet?
I heard Paul Hickis.
That was me laughing.
But who were you interviewing?
Can you repeat it again, Chris?
God, Moses.
Kicked.
Here we go.
Shot stopping's like 6th or 7th down the list. It's like, can he handle the ball with his feet? Is number one, which is.
Oh, I think I know that.
Come on, Paul. I'm very, very disappointed if you don't get this one.
If I'm right, and I'm going to put it on our board at the moment just to see whether I'm right. But if I am, Paul, yeah, I'm amazed you haven't got it.
I can't think.
Whoa, God, I'm going to give you 5 minutes, Paul.
Can I have it once more?
Okay. I'm going to miss that first bit. Hang on.
It's like, can he handle the ball with his feet? Is number one, which just baffles me, like, you know.
Chris, have you seen the chat?
I have, yep. It's not him, no.
It's not.
It's not. I thought that's what I was thinking.
No.
Oh, you've definitely. I'll tell you what, I'm stumped then because I actually really did think it was him.
Nope. It's not
For those listening, I thought it was Mike Taylor.
Yeah. Oh, well, I haven't seen that one.
You're not going to tell me it's right.
Well,
And that was guess who?
well done. Yeah. I couldn't see it on the message board though. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong message board.
On our chat, yeah. On our chat.
Yeah, well done then.
What else you got?
I've ruined that one.
I've got
Probably Meredith that does that, so I'll just take it over.
I've got a shirt. There's a quick shirt coming up. Have a look. I know it'll take a couple of seconds before you can see it because you're probably a bit behind now. But have you got that, Paul?
Yeah.
Claire?
Oh, I love that top.
Yeah, I'm
Okay. So you all know it, don't you?
Yeah, I know the sponsor and manufacturer. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see if anybody on the
There's a slight giveaway on the manufacturer, Chris. Just thought I'd let you know that you've blurred the emblem, but you didn't blur the main bits on the shirt.
where?
3 lines.
What about the 3 lines on the top?
People aren't that clever.
one job.
Well done to BCFC Ireland. He's got 8. They've gone for 888, and that is correct. That's 888 Sport, isn't it? The sponsor.
Yeah. I've got another one. Another
manufacturer is Adidas, as you just said, Craig.
I understand why people went for F&C though, but there was one, but it had more blue, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like on the collar here.
I've got another one as well. And it kind of like adds on to shirts, but it's the 25th today, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we can do this every week if you like it.
Okay.
But with it being number 25 today, I want to know who we think is the best player ever to wear that number for us.
Didn't Upson wear 25?
He did. And that was my idea, because I don't think anyone's going to be better than him.
Yeah.
Did McSheffrey wear 25?
McSheffrey didn't, no.
No.
I don't think so, no. No, he was 16, wasn't he? In the championship, and then he had 11 in the Prem.
Who are we talking about?
Number 25, Al. I've just said...
I know that, but somebody said, you said he was the best player.
Upson, Matthew Upson.
Oh, right, yeah. Absolutely.
Cole Jenkins had it for a bit as well. I don't think he's going to win it.
So people are saying F&C. It's not F&C.
Not F&C, no. It's 888 Sport.
Yeah. Well, I was going to let that run a bit, but there you go. Thanks for spoiling that, Paul.
If anyone's got anyone that they think is better to wear 25 than Matthew Upson, please shout. But I can't think of any other players that wore 25, never mind. Anyone better than Matthew Upson at the moment? I'm struggling.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do this one really quick. I think it's quite easy, this one. Who are these two players?
Yeah, I know.
Anybody else know?
I didn't hear that. Nothing.
Can't see it.
Do it again. Hang on a bit.
Don't show me the pictures. You don't give me the sound. What's going? I'm getting worried.
Oh.
Ah.
Yeah, I know.
Well done. Well done, Ian.
Clayton's got it.
Yeah, Ian Clayton's got it. Well done. There you go.
Yeah.
That was an easy one to lure you in.
And then another suggestion I had was Player of the Decade. And every week we can mention the decade. And I want to know people's votes for the best player from that decade.
What, in position, you mean?
I'll give you another number 25.
Go on, Claire.
Joe Hart.
Yes. Oh, God, yeah.
Ooh.
There's a whole list of them on Google. It's great.
Can you shout out a few more then, Claire?
Nico Gordon. Anel Hernandez.
Hernandez. Yeah.
Dacres Cogley. Lafferty. Lowry. Matt Green. Jack Damon. Asante. Jordan Much.
He was all right.
Aluko. Stephen Clements.
Clemens was a good player.
Paul Furlong.
Yeah, he did, yeah. Towards the end he did, yeah.
Keeping that on my Google search for doing that game.
He was a very good player, he was, Furlong, wasn't
he? Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, is he still not the striker with the best goals to games ratio for the club?
Yeah, I think he is, yeah. Yeah.
Great player.
It's a shame he was injury prone though, wasn't it, really? Because he did miss a lot of football, and if he didn't, I think we'd have gone up under Trevor, wouldn't we? But yeah, I don't think Upson is being beaten, is he? Joe Hart was quality though, I'll say that. And Stephen Clements was a good performer for us as well, very good player. But I'm still voting Matthew Upson.
Yeah, Pete Taylor's gone with that as well. Upson has no competition.
Quite a few that have all said that.
So who was our best player then in the 80s, from 1980 to 1989?
80, 89.
Yeah.
Was you born then?
1980 to 1989. It was our best player in that decade.
80s.
80, 89. 80, 89.
Well, we finished up in the third division, so it should be a very short list that we were choosing from.
Were we not in the top division at any point in the 80s? Early 80s?
No, not 82.
We weren't.
No.
Obviously, I was only a baby.
Oh, well, hang on.
Claire was just a dream. Claire was a dream.
I was young as well.
In 1980-81, I'm sure we had Gemmell and Worthington and Colin Todd and
Noel Blake.
Noel Blake.
Yeah.
Mick Harford. What about Mick Harford?
Mick Harford, yes.
Yeah. Mark Dennis, Kevin Broadhurst. Yeah, Tony Coton
as well.
Yeah. Oh, crikey, Dave Langham, what a player.
Yeah.
Wayne Clark.
Yeah, Wayne Clark.
He was playing when I was going, yeah.
Yeah, Curbs as well.
Mm.
Ian Anderson and Hoppy.
Hoppy was good, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. What a blues fan.
Oh, I'll tell you what then. Based on best player, are we talking about best player at the club or overall? Because if you're doing overall, then I have just cheated, but I've just found David Seaman.
Mm.
No, the best player at Blues, best Blues' best player. Who we think was the best player to perform for the Blues in that decade? What about Mick Harford?
I tell you, one that you will also struggle to argue with is Pat Van Den Hauwe.
What about Julian Dix and Mark Dennis?
Yeah.
Claire, do you know any of these?
Pat Van Der Hauwe.
I do know. I've heard the names, but if you told me any faces, I wouldn't have a clue. But I do know names.
This gives us a good idea of the age of our audience watching as well, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? Yeah. No one's as old as
a lot of them have gone, we're just going to sit here just staring at the screen.
I know, yeah.
I think in my 1 to 11, I put Julian Dix in my all time. I thought he was tremendous, and he went on to do great things for Liverpool, West Ham. And boy, was he! I mean, I think Mark Dennis was tough, but he was brutal.
He would scare the life out of you, wouldn't he, Mark Dennis?
Yeah, I remember Dix, obviously, when he was at Liverpool,
Dix,
West Ham. I don't remember him at Blues too much, but I remember him at, I caught the rest of his career, really, from the early 90s onwards. And he was he didn't play. Did he play for England, Dix? I don't think he did.
I don't think he did.
Stuart Pearce, wasn't it? Was pretty much England's left back throughout the whole of the 90s.
Well, here's another one, and I didn't realise he was actually at the club this early, but Vince Overson.
Yeah, in the 80s, all right, okay.
Yeah.
Just about 89 we signed.
Yeah.
Johnny Frame was there at that point in time as well.
Yeah.
And Dean Peer.
Yeah.
Storage.
Proper names when we go, it's obviously the latter end, but there's some...
Craig, are you Googling this?
Of course he is.
I'm not Googling it at all, no. Actually, definitely not Google, I promise you. It's Wikipedia.
It's funny, isn't it, when you go through all these players and you think, well, why didn't we do any good?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, what were we playing in front of crowds of 6,500?
Played in 11 different sides.
Yeah.
And the rest of the team weren't up to it.
Yeah.
Paul Tate broke into the team at that point in time. Mark Yates was there. Kevin Langley. Des Bremner.
Yeah.
Tommy Williams. Ray Ranson.
David Geddes.
There's some fantastic players, but I'd struggle with who would be the best over that period of time there.
I mean, Broads was a great servant and still is, to the club. So
Yeah.
be up there, isn't he?
Just interesting, isn't it, to get people's thoughts, really, on things like this, to see what they think.
I think if you had a popular vote with all those names put in front of you, I think Frank Worthington would probably come out on top.
Probably,
because he was a great player. I mean, Todd and Gemmell were both great players, but they're not fashionable, are they? Good defenders and hard midfield players. Frank Worthington was a star.
Yeah, no one's mentioned Tony Coton either.
Tony Coton. So he saved a penalty with his first touch of the ball in league football.
Yeah.
And do you all know the story around what he got at the end of that and what he was more pleased about telling his dad?
You're talking about
It's on here, didn't
He told us on here he's done it in numerous Q&As, and the answer is he was more impressed after saving the penalty, not only with saving the penalty, but because he got a steak afterwards.
That's right, yeah.
That's right, yeah. Yeah. Ian Clayton's asking who's Blues' worst ever player. We've definitely got more to choose from there.
That's a programme on its own, isn't it?
Yeah, that's another show.
Yeah.
We'll do a 1 to 100, not a 1 to 11 of that one.
Yeah. We could do the worst player of each season.
Blimey. Now that's back to negative, any Chris? We don't
It
go
is, yeah. Keith Burchin, what a great player he was as well. 80s, yeah. Scored a lot of goals.
So Ian Clayton has said the best player up until 1989 was easily Carl Richards.
So good, he named him twice.
Gelford.
Michael Woods agrees with you, Mr. Chairman. What a player Julian Dix was, and what a gentleman too. Hard as nails on the pitch and a gentleman off it.
And Mick Greaves has gone with Ian Handersides as well.
Yeah.
I do love the left back we got now. I've got to say that Cochrane for me is player of the season so far. I think he's outstanding. He's just a solid 8 out of 10 every week, isn't he? Even when the whole team don't play well, he still does.
Yeah. Tarantino. Yeah. I'll still never forget that goal he scored. I think he did 4 laps of honours.
Joe Gallagher, was he 70, Joe Gallagher, or 80?
70s, yeah, 70s.
The 80s.
70s, yeah, 70s. I don't think he made it into the 80s, no.
Did he not?
No, I think he went off to Wolves, didn't he, then?
Same as Latchford as well, and Francis and...
Yeah.
Francis sold in 79.
79.
I'm going to say the 70s is an easy question, isn't it, when you have to do it for the 70s? That's got to
Oh, yeah, that was a great team, that was. Yeah.
So Ian Clayton has also said he was named after Ian Handy's sides and his brother was named after Gary Pendry.
All right.
Fair play.
Can we see Buchanan leaving in January, says Anthony Bailey.
I said another player I like. I mean, could he come in at centre-back next to Clara? Maybe Cochrane left-back, you know?
It's a possibility.
He needs game time. If it was a loan or something.
It would be a shame to let him go because he's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah, he's just been unlucky with injuries. I would keep him.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe, or we need some. I think Cochrane at some point will need a break.
Yeah, because he's even been playing in like the
cups and everything, hasn't he?
I nearly said the Papa John's Trophy. It's the Bristol Street Motors Cup, isn't it? Sorry.
Well, the Virtue Trophy now.
Virtue Trophy.
So good, they name it more than once in a season.
And we got Exeter away, and we in that as well in the next round. And are you going tomorrow, Claire?
What a worse draw could we really?
No, I didn't think you would. Yeah, week.
If because of my job, I couldn't get down there and back in time. But yeah,
Fair enough.
to all those that are, fair play to you and be loud. I will be watching it 100%.
Is it a
Can I
sellout?
say as well, I know we're at 8 o'clock, but just one last thing. 5,000 Blue Noses making a trip to Barnsley. Brilliant.
Pretty good, isn't it?
I know it's, fair play, first of all, to Barnsley for putting on so many tickets. But to sell that out as an away game so close to Christmas just goes to show how much this club is loved by our fans. And we're
No one moaning this week, Craig.
definitely no moaning this week. No, definitely no moaning this week.
Do you remember when we played Barnsley in Championship and we got promotion in the end, and they gave everybody free transport. There was over 100 coaches.
David Sullivan paid for everything, didn't he? We got 2 games on the bounce, if I remember rightly, and it was around Easter time because I was at the home game and we'd lost that. And I remember
we lost at Barnsley.
And we lost at Barnsley, but Sully was in the most vile mood after that game. I'd won tickets with Tom Ross. It was hospitality for the day, and he wouldn't have a photograph until people went, "Come on, you're the owner, you've got to have a photograph." So he had a photograph with me by the side of his car. And then I was like, "Don't worry, we'll be okay come Monday." And then, we went and lost at Barnsley. But, it's phenomenal following again, that is, this time around.
Oh, incredible.
What did you take that with? What did you take that photo with, Craig? One of them Polaroid things?
Do you know, I got to be a very early mobile phone. It has to be an early mobile phone because I just remember being outside next to his roller and he stood down. He was proper short ass, but he was just like that. And he was just like, okay, I've got this. So, memories.
Okay, so we reached full time.
Yes,
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's good night from me. I've been Paul Hipkiss and a very mixed show tonight, wasn't it? But we've got it off our chest. And we move on to tomorrow night. And come on, you Blue Boys, go and beat Exeter tomorrow for us, please. So it's good night from me. Good night from Claire Gibley.
Good night from me. 2-1 win tomorrow. Come on, Blues. And be loud and proud tomorrow, away fans.
Predictions,
quick.
Predictions?
Quickly.
I did just said 2-1. I'm going to say it as I say goodbye.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'll say goodbye again, and I will say 1-0 Blues tomorrow.
2-1 Blues. Let's do this tomorrow. We'll beat them tomorrow. Good night from Craig Courtney.
I'm going to go for a hard-fought 1-0 tomorrow. Come on, Blues. Show us really what you can do. You'll got the fans. Now show us the performance on the field. Over to Chairman of the Board, Mr. Watson.
Right, well, it's goodbye from me, and my prediction is 2-2. I don't care what we must get 2, and then we'll win. Anyway, and it's a good night from who's left, Chris?
Me. And it's a good night from me, and I'm going to go for a resounding 3-1 win.
That'll do.
Good night.
Dave Twine said good night, Mr. Rowe.
Where's Rowe? Where's Mark Meredith?
Who?
we tell people now that he was rearrested, and that's why we can't see Robe.